Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with, agree with Darren in the sense, I think they are here to stay. I think that, in a sense, the genie is out. So the question now is, how do we best ensure that they're used appropriately and sensibly? And I think, as Darren was saying, I think on the one hand, the real-time stuff over time, because obviously some of these are genuinely new, so we don't know. I think there's a question about the degree to which they can be and are calibrated to more official statistics that over time you see, that they may be leading indicators of a different type or they actually aren't. So there's a calibration question. And I think official statistics would be hugely helpful, giving us some confidence as to whether this data is just all noise, or whether it's actually, is able to tell us something that we feel a bit more comfortable about. And then related to that, I would say, and this partly relates to my kind of capacity and capability point earlier on, I think there is a requirement then for a little bit of marshalling of the real-time indicator space, if I can call it that, where we will need to be a little bit more, or we'll need to be clearer on the limitations of and the downsides, as well as the upsides, in a sense that the worry would be that real-time indicators are proposed and promoted by those that control the real-time indicator, and so it's all on the upside and none on the downside. And I think understanding that and then offering some more wise and careful kind of commentary about, well, yes, you can look at these, or we can think about this, but let's be aware of what it is telling us or what it's not telling us. And I think that's, we can't rely on, or we shouldn't assume that the user, however you define that, is going to be able to do that. I think there is a third party intermediary requirement, whoever that is. I think the ONS have a role to play, but I think other institutions can play a role as well, as being sort of the commentators and just the watchers of how this information is getting used, and to work with the ultimate users on how they think about and use those indicators. So those would be my kind of two thoughts on that.
Thank you. Mairi, do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, I suppose I would agree with everything Andrew said, and yeah, I mean, I think they are here to stay. As Darren pointed out, perhaps not quite in the same form. That there are uses that can be made of some of the data that we've tried to use, sort of stick together time series to try and get insights into the recovery of sectors and things like that. And already you can see that they aren't quite. When you then look back, the calibration questions are really interesting one to see how good are they at these sort of predicting the level of recovery in different sectors and that sort of thing. I think the understanding of what they cover and what they don't cover is really important. The sectors that aren't covered by BICS, for example, or the nature of the furlough stats is, it's really important that users understand these, given there isn't, not all employment's eligible for furlough, for example, and it's important to understand that as well. So there are a number of things that users, and it is a more complex kind of landscape when you're trying to look at these sort of faster indicators, given their partial nature. But it doesn't mean that they can't give you some insights, but it does make it more complex. I think there's always a tension between fast kind of growth kind of indicators from a base that you're confident in and updating that base. And I think that tension might come to a head with more local data when there might be delays to the sort of more established regional GVA data in order to facilitate the production of these faster indicators. Users are happy now, but will they be happy when they don't appear in December? Probably not, and that's the nature of dealing with users sometimes. But it is a tension that the ONS are going to have to manage to ensure that you have those baselines being updated on a regular enough basis that you're confident that they still represent the structure of the economy, but providing these faster indicators. And it isn't easy. And I say this as a former statistical producer. There will be a demand for both of these things to continue.